Awesome. So today we are here with Steve from ET Brugge, and we will have some questions with him going about his current plans, about his future plans, and about the team and a new potential lineup, or at least a new fifth player. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning,
Good
Alec.
morning. What are the main points you're looking for a new player? What are the critiques apart from he has to be from Europe and has to play full time? What you stated on Twitter. What are like the
Li-
main points you're looking for?
Like, it had to be a motivated player, but also a player who already reached some kind of level, because there is many players who are saying they're experienced, but then their experience on like ESEA main level or regional leagues only. Like, this was not what I asked for, you know. So there was like 50 requests where there was like 40 total useless requests, you know, for trials and stuff like this.
Okay, I can
And
imagine it's hard to select like real potential candidates and not play every test game because there's no time for that.
yeah, of course, but you can already like most of the players that played like on a decent level, I 99% of the time should already know them because I'm playing for so long. So I should have seen them already, you know, when they have some experience like in events and stuff.
Totally makes sense. Are you also looking for new young talents, for example, if there's a like 16 years old trying to get
Well,
to a team? Is that also an
we
option
had
or?
like contacts with some Belgian player from like the other team in our region who are trying to try out the game, but it's a bit hard with all the contract stuff.
Mhm.
So let's see if it happens or no.
Okay. Are you also planning on get a coach or will you stay a five stack for now?
We we won the coach for like 6 months already, but every time we are testing someone, like the input is so minimal that like I can give that input too as an IGL, and we don't need a coach for that, if you understand what I mean.
Absolutely. As an IGL and OP as well, are you do you have any IGLs and OPs? There are like some coming to my mind who you look up to and you have inspiration from.
Mm, Not really. Like I watched a lot of Device demos because I think Device like he's always playing really smart, and he's not really playing for these frags.
Hmm.
Like when you are watching these other tier one players, like tier one opers like Simple or something, they want all these frags, you know. When back in the days when Australis was really good, they were just playing so good together as a team that like you could put another outper who also just play smart, and they would be able to do almost the same. I think maybe not as good as with Device, but
Okay, interesting
like
take.
they played really proper CS back in the day, and it's just really nice to watch. Like Navi right now, it's also nice to watch, but like they have some really sick skilled individuals right now, so they're really hard to beat only just because they are so strong aimers. Like they have no more weak links, which you had in most of the other teams.
Absolutely, they are really well fitting individuals. How did your esport career start? When did you start, and what troubles did you came along? Like some main points where you maybe thought I
Like
can not continue, or like some main thoughts and troubles around your career.
like until I was 25, I was like living normal life. I had a normal job, and I was just playing like outside of my hours with some teams, like trying to practice, trying to. And then like 3 years ago, I was 25 already, and I was thinking if I want to go pro, I need to quit this job now because otherwise it will be too late. And then I quit. We didn't have any income yet, but we started grinding like full time with like 5 Belgian players, and this is how it started, I guess.
Okay, really cool. So you don't have a normal day job anymore.
No, not anymore. No, like for 3 years now.
Okay, really interesting. To you personally, how do you feel like? How is your individual performance? How are your individual goals? And how do you feel like you reached them the last year?
Like At the moment, like I'm 1 month already in a real slump. I don't know why I'm playing like 100 hours in 2 weeks or something. I'm trying my best, but
Hmm?
it's just not coming out. But before that, like this year, we all improved a lot because like at the start of this year when we signed with Brugge, this was like a real big deal in Belgium. That's because it's like this football club.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was starting to take it more serious. The like media was watching more of esports. Like before that, in Belgium there was nothing, and I feel like we all improved a lot in this last year because we grinded a lot. We were playing like 7 days out of 7 every day,
Mm-hmm.
non-stop.
That's amazing. Also cool that the team itself works as that, and you're like coming along with the individuals so well.
Yeah, but it's not always funny, of course.
I can imagine.
Sometimes there is some arguments like
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, I guess, because you're sitting with each other every single day, and when something happens that shouldn't happen, when you lose a game because of this, obviously some arguments come around because yeah, you're sitting every day next, like with each other, not next to each other, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
on TeamSpeak and practicing and playing officials.
Sure, I can imagine there's something coming and heating up emotions for sure.
Yeah.
What are your long-term goals as a player? Where do you see yourself in like 3 years?
Oh, you probably back on a normal job, to be honest.
Okay, really?
But yeah, like I'm thinking about like staying one, maybe 2 more years, and hopefully after I can work at Brugge for the esports divisions.
Okay, that's a cool plan. I had an interview with Snappy, or at least our partner had a interview with Snappy,
Mm-hmm.
where he stated that he thinks there's like easily a way for pro players to play till 35, for example, because players like Cristiano Ronaldo in football with a way more like physical sport still compete at that level. What do you think about that?
I think it's possible, but only for certain players. Like when you see there is a good example of Forrest, he's like 34 and he's still owning everyone in
Hmm?
this Dignitas team. But then you have also his teammate Freiberg, who cannot kill anyone anymore. To be a bit rude, but yeah, it really depends on the player and like their motivations. I think it's possible, but I don't know if I would do it, to be honest.
Okay, interesting take. But I like your motivation to go as a like organization part of esports in Belgium. That's a cool like a
Yeah,
project
yeah,
you look up to.
yeah. Like I don't see myself go again to like before I was truck driver. I don't see myself go again in my truck every morning at 4 in the morning and go again in the cold, in the wind, in the winter.
I can imagine that one. It's surely a tough job.
Yeah,
Do you have any favorite organization you were always looking up to, or players you were looking up to?
like organization. I think G2 is really nice. Like when I'm following these Carlos on Twitter, and it's just nice to see that the CEO is just like the most normal human being, when you see him post on Twitter. So from fun, I'm from G2.
Absolutely, he looks like a really fun guy
And
and also roasting the
player,
players, and that's really
yeah,
cool.
yeah, of course. And player Zero, I like really much. Like before he played for Vitality, he was always coming to the local ones in Belgium and France, but he was signing up on an undercover name. And you are sitting there, and suddenly, who do you see enter? It's Zero, and then you already know, we're not gonna win this weekend, guys. Just because he was already back then, bro, he was so crazy. He was just running in first when his teammates were not good, and he was just running in first and killing everyone every time.
I will never forget his Inferno play with the AWP where he just like finishes the game in overtime, I think it was, and getting 4 kills on the Inferno to entry. That was
Yeah, bro, this guy is just crazy. When sometimes he just doesn't think and just goes for entry. I'm pretty sure Apex is just telling him, Zero, go kill something like this, and then he goes for it.
I mean, it has to be an amazing feeling as an IGL to just call and do it.
Yeah, go kill, bro. I had the same thing, but with Richie then, like when we had some like rough rounds, I just told him, "Here, Richie, take my AK and go kill them all, please." And when it
W-
happens, bro, then you're smiling behind your PC. You're like, "You see, Richard, you see."
I can imagine that one. When we come to G2, what do you think about the m0NESY rumors or literally
I think
signing?
it's really nice. Like I played with m0NESY when he was in FPLC. He
Mhm.
was like 14 still, and he's such a friendly kid. Like he has zero ego, nothing. He accepts people telling him like his mistakes, even though he's 10 times better than all these players were already back then. And like it's a really nice guy, and I'm really happy for him to be honest.
Okay, awesome. That sounds amazing. Great to
For
get
the
some.
rest of the changes, like I think there will be more changes to be honest than only m0NESY. I feel like they're gonna kick out all the French guys.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, there are
And
some
maybe
Rob's
and
rumors.
maybe a new French team with like m0NESY and I saw MBK might come back as well. And there could be another good French team coming up with like legendary players.
Absolutely agree. It would be really interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, nice. That's awesome. Always great to get your thoughts on m0NESY. Um, what would be also interesting is how do you stay motivated to keep playing? Like, what's your motivation, your drive? I mean, we already talked about it a bit that you wanted to go pro at 25.
Yeah,
That's already really cool. That decision to quit your normal job and like now or never. I like the
yeah.
mentality.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes you have to take risks, you know. I was like working normal job from my 18 until 25 and I was thinking, do I really want to do this all my life when I can maybe still play some CS and have some fun?
Sure, it's amazing. The motivation is like every day there, or is there are there some? I mean, everybody has some lag days where you
Mm,
get up and say,
yeah,
ah, I don't
to,
really want to, but
to be honest, if I wouldn't be motivated, I probably would have quit already because like we had a lot of struggles, like
mhm.
losing players to better teams and stuff like that. And but yeah, I didn't reach my goals yet, so I'm motivated every day to be honest.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Do you think there's a the general problem what you just like mentioned in the tier two, tier three scene, where individuals just don't trust the project as a whole and long term, but just take the first possible chance to get
But
to a better team under exclamation marks?
mm, but like there's like most of the time they decided because either financially they can upgrade a lot or it's with like old legendary players, something like this, and you see these names, and when they ask you, what can you say? Like you are playing with some Belgian players,
Mhm.
and then you get asked by let's say Flusha or something. Yeah,
Mhm. Sure thing.
obviously, then people start to think, and but yeah, like Richie didn't leave us because of gorillas. Like he just didn't have any more motivation to grind because me, Richie, and before Simics as well, we were playing together on this team 3 years
Mhm.
non-stop. So we grinded really hard because we started in main, then we instantly went to advance and stuff like this, and slowly it started improving. And we grinded a lot, and I think he was just tired of this. And then he came like back to us, and after this, I think 2 months break, and yeah, then Gorillas came.
Okay. Totally understandable. Uh, as of lately, many Valorant, many players switched to Valorant, or not many, but at least a few. Did you ever think about going to Valorant as well? I can't imagine with what you just said, with being motivated to grind in CS.
I played this game 2 days,
Okay,
and it was enough. And it was 2 days, like only a few months ago. So I didn't even watch anything from this. I'm zero interest for this game.
okay, understand. What do you think about the transfers from Nivera and Scream, for example, who are two
I think for
legendary
I
Belgian
think
players?
Scream, it was like a good decision because he was on a lost path in CS. Like there was no French team willing to take him anymore, so he had no other solution than Valorant, which was pretty good for him. I think. I think he's one of the best players there. But Nivera, I think it's a bit sad because he had so much to show still. Like he already like he joined his first pro team, which was instantly Heretics, who came like from this RMR where they were beating teams like FaZe and stuff with that lineup, and then he joins Vitality as a six-man roster. Doesn't like his role and give it up to go Valorant. I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely a huge potential in CS, but I think also like Scream was a big motivation for him to join Valorant, I guess.
Yeah, obviously
Yeah,
because it is Big Brother, and I'm pretty sure that's all he wanted when he started playing CS. You know.
I can absolutely imagine that as well. Yeah. How do you feel about the matchmaking system in Valorant that are like 13 rounds needed to win? Is that would you think that's also better for CS? There were
I
some
I
discussions.
didn't follow it really, but for CS it wouldn't be too good with the current money situation, like economics in CS:GO. It wouldn't be fair if it's only MR12, you know.
Okay, yeah. I understand
Because
that
with
one.
like on the T side you can buy all the time, and on the CT side you need to eco every gun round you lost.
Agree. I
So
think
for CT side, if you start bad, you probably will get only like three or maybe 4 rounds if you're lucky.
absolutely agree. That's also something we see at short MM, for example. I don't play too often, but sometimes, and there's like also the economy is the same like normal MM, but you just have
Yeah, so,
like really little rounds to make up the pistol and the following up eco lose.
yep, that's true. Like you cannot force anymore in like second rounds and stuff. You need to instantly fully eco because you have no rounds to play with in MR12. In MR12.
Absolutely true. Looking at the ESL Pro League conference, you had two heartbreaking losses with one 16-14 and one overtime loss. How is like the emotions after such a win? Is there like a day off to just calm down? And how's like the feeling? How would you describe it?
Like our expectations were pretty low. Like Simic was playing with us, and he he isn't playing with us anymore in the team. But we needed to play with like three Benelux players, you know,
Hmm.
because we qualified from ESL Benelux. So that was already hard to play because there was no practice. It's also a player who needs confidence to play good, and you cannot have any confidence when you're not playing the game in team anymore properly. So, but this game against Sharks, we had big chances. Like the first map went into overtime, and we fucked up some rounds there, like in this overtime, which costed us obviously this map, and this was our map. So, and yeah, after on Mirage, we also lose pretty close.
Yep.
But yeah, Sharks isn't a bad team. Like they played on the majors. They are a real team. Like these Brazilians are playing together for quite some time. So they had to win this match. Like we didn't have any pressure.
Agree. So there's also some positive outtake to just think, yeah, we made it really close against them, and that's already an achievement in itself.
It's not an achievement. Like we won better teams
Hmm.
before, but yeah, we didn't get owned or something.
Hmm.
So it was not like we got humiliated or people were trash talking us because of this or something.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we're
Fair.
fine with it. But yeah, we hope one day to be able to play with a like lineup where we can play with our 5 players everywhere.
Hmm.
So we don't need to switch like because right now in national leagues I need to play with like stand-ins, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, sure.
And
Because
then when
still,
you qualify from these leagues, you still need to play with these stand-ins. So yeah, it's it's not possible to win games against all these teams if you don't have your game plan like you can do with your team where you practice for months, you know.
sure, that's absolutely a problem. Yeah. Also, a
Like,
general problem for the national scenes. I mean, I understand why the regulations are there, uh,
yeah,
but it's definitely
obviously. Otherwise, yeah, then you can have one Belgium who is coming with 4 internationals
yeah,
who
sure.
are much better than like the national scene, you know. So I understand it. I wouldn't agree as well if I wasn't in that position, like to play with like only international players almost.
Absolutely agree. Yeah. Interesting point as well. Yeah. Another thing, how do you feel about the current meta of having BU1 opening duels at the big events? Because, for example, m0NESY was going home after 2 days with like a lot of travel expenses and a huge team going there and probably just playing 3 maps.
Mm, I don't really like, to be honest, this best of ones because in a best of one everyone can win, you know. And if you lose some key rounds during that game, you can lose that game 14-16 when normally you would win them on any other map if these situations wouldn't happen, you know. And you have no time to fix it in best of ones. And like I don't think these tier one teams were used to this anymore because online they were only playing best of threes for like 2 years, and then they come back to LAN and they have to play a best of one to go instant in the lower bracket if they lose this, and play for elimination against all the best teams.
Mm. I absolutely agree with that. I mean, for me as a viewer, it's really interesting. I think for many others as well. But I can imagine for the teams, I always feel like a bit sad for the teams that went out like 3-0 in maps
Yeah,
and just have to
that's
go
the
home
sad
again.
part. That's the sad part. Like it's quickly finished with like these tournaments where it's best of one and it's like this double elimination brackets in group stage.
Absolutely. Coming back to you personal, what are your goals and expectations going next year for you personally and also for the team? Is there anything set you want to reach, for
Like
example?
I don't have personal goals, you know. I always think for like my team results, but I hope we can get top 50 and stay to 50 because it would be nice to be there. At the moment, we're struggling a lot just because we have no lineup and
Mm,
we have all these tournaments set where we agree to like a month before, you know.
totally understand. So, like, the first big plan is to get a consistent lineup for sure.
Yeah, of course,
Then
but
grinding the way up.
that should be finished after this month, so
Perfect.
then we can finally start working again like we did last year because last 6 months we didn't do that much to be honest.
Understand. You already mentioned before that you were around 60 hours the last 2 weeks, I think. And what's like your weekly routine? What's a normal break day looking at your in your life?
With Packer, day where I don't have to practice.
A practice day.
Uh, like our practice days are from 13 to like 20, with
Hmm.
like an hour break in at 17 to eat, like 1 hour server time. Then we practice 2 or 3 maps. Then we go eat, and then we either play officials or play 2 more maps. And before that, like I play my 500 kills DM before break and
Hmm.
at night, and I watch some demos from time to time depending on what we need or on opponents.
What would you suggest young players to how should they start like getting to a decent level to dream of a pro player or to dream of being a pro player?
Like nowadays, it's all changed, you know, with this like FPL and all these
Mm,
like regional leagues where they can qualify to FPL. Say before, bro, like 5 years ago or something, everyone was just playing with their local teams and trying to grind up. And when they are playing good, they get picked up by the better team in that region. And this is how it always went. But
mm,
nowadays, most of the kids are just grinding face it, and I feel like they miss a lot of parts about playing in a team, playing together, and playing for the team, not for statistics and stuff like this. So yeah, I feel like you should still grind like with your first with your friends, and then you start practicing, and then you go play with players who take it more serious, and this is how you grind up, for me at least,
okay. Yeah.
without losing the experience of like starting in ESEA Open, playing your first playoff, stuff like this, you know.
like a steady grind as a team player, not
Yeah,
to.
and like feeling this pressure of these first time playoffs and stuff like this. They all need to learn this. Like
Hmm?
they can be as good as they want, but they come in their first tournament and they're stressed out just because they don't understand this feeling of like this is something different than they're used to play, you know? Because
Absolutely
there
makes
is some
sense.
kind of pressure when you're playing like playoffs with your team. It's so important. Like you play 2 months of season just to play these playoffs, you know.
I was actually really surprised with some young players like Bit, for example, who entered the tier one scene and just popped off instantly. And there are like
Yeah, but
many young.
we pranked a lot against Navi,
Hmm.
and like they when Flamey was still there first, Beat was in spectator for like months. Okay,
Ah, okay.
he was just watching what was happening, and then he was getting set in on the first map. And he was playing only this map,
Hmm.
and this is how they brought him like really slow. Like he didn't play any officials, but he was playing all the practices.
Okay, that's really interesting. Yeah.
So like he had his time to prepare himself before he was finally playing on the events himself. Like he was there all the time. He was either playing or he was probably spectating Flamey.
Okay. A really interesting take. Okay, cool. Really interesting. Do you have a young Belgian player to look out for? Some new and upcoming talent?
I think there is one. His name is m0NESY. He's like 17 years old. He he like take break from school to grind this game, and he played like one official with us because we needed a stand in, and it was nice to play with him. He's pretty good.
Okay.
Maybe one day we can get him over if he's finally finished with his team.
So that's a plan for you also to probably have him on your lineup.
Yeah, of course, because it's important to have like Belgium or at least Benelux players. And when there is one good, it's important to like take him on time because I still need to learn him probably a lot too. You know?
Sure, you can share your experience, and it would also help him to get like an other point of view or side of view.
Yeah, yeah. Like uh, when I picked up Richie like 3 years ago, he didn't play anything yet. He was only playing Face It, you know. And they need a lot like some time to like learn how to play proper CS and play with strats and play with a role. And as soon as they learn this, like you see, Richie now is a really good player. So I hope I can do the same with other players.
Also,
But
I
there's
also,
not many motivated players, unfortunately, in Belgium. So.
but I really like your take to like help the young generation, help young and new players to like grow and get a better player itself. That's cool.
Yeah, like that's the most important thing. Like if they are better, like my team will get better.
Sure.
So like for myself, I cannot perform anymore. Like every time, just because I'm calling, I need to micromanage everything. I need to like still play for myself while I'm thinking for like the 5 people, you know.
Absolutely makes sense.
So
Absolutely.
that's why my teammates should perform really good. So I need to learn them everything I know, you know. Sometimes it's rough, like when I'm complaining every round because I want them to know that how I see like it should be,
Hmm.
so that if we are in official and we lose like that, it's my fault, you know. Like I asked them to do it like this, they did it like this, we lost. Yeah, it was a bad decision, but it was from me. It's better like for me like this than my teammates doing stuff I didn't ask and then we lose. You understand?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the pressure on your shoulders are high. Like I can imagine many IGLs in the scene, or nearly every. But
Yeah, yeah, of course. Like the pressure is always there, you know. Because in like tense games, you need to make the decision what call you're gonna make, and if it's the good one, you will get to match point, and if it's the bad one, you are equal and your match point down. So then you are feeling the pressure, obviously.
absolutely, totally interesting points. About the utility update that was launched some time ago, how did you feel about that? About the utility dropping?
I like it a lot actually. It's really good. Like I saw a lot of people were whining about it on Twitter at the
Mhm.
start, but it's really good. It added like more tactical parts about this game. Like on Inferno, you can just drop your nades at this B player and leave one guy solo and pretend like it's three guys.
I mean, many
So I
many
like I like it a lot, to be honest.
Okay, that's cool. I personally, I mean, my opinion doesn't count that much. I'm just a pugger, but I really like it as well. I think it's really cool. But I also saw the point of a complete change of the meta. What many coaches, for example, were stating on Twitter that you don't know how many players are wherever on the map. But I actually think it didn't have that much of a negative impact in any way in the pro scene. I think that's a
No, I
really
don't
cool
think as
addition.
well. Yeah, yeah, bro. Like you see new stuff again. Like you see people dropping their nades like on several maps, like on positions where you didn't think of yourself, and then you're like, look, this is a good way to also pretend like you're heavy on, let's say, dust two on long, but you actually shot all your smokes into pit.
Absolutely agree. I really like it as well. It's also as a viewer, it's just refreshing and nice to see a change.
Yeah, for sure. And like even if there is a guy who forget his smoke, you can just drop your smoke. I'll smoke it for you. Like you smoke something and then you smoke something else because someone either doesn't know it or wants to go entry or something because he's low HP. Like in also in pistol rounds, what we are doing now. Like I'm buying P250 smoke flash, but I'm throwing my util to someone with armor, and I try to entry like with this P250, but without armor, so that when I'm dead, they can still take the P250 and still have the utility to work with.
Absolutely makes sense. Yeah. Interesting
Right.
take.
It was nice. I liked it a lot, to be honest.
Great.
Some change up in the game.
Same.
Soon they can add a new map, I guess.
Are you open for new maps and changes? You like that in general?
I really liked Vertigo. Like, it's one of our main maps. Like, we grinded it instantly from the start, and I really like Ancient. Not yet. Like, I don't really know yet how to play it really good
Hmm.
because, like, in since it's out, we barely had a lineup to get to prec Ancient. Because it's like the sixth map I would prec. So yeah, we played a lot of officials on it, but wasn't too successful yet.
Okay.
But
So,
it's not a bad map. I'm
mhm,
not saying it's a bad map. Like I like to play it. I just don't know the ways yet to like master on this map.
understand. Is there anything you would change about CS:GO if you could? Like one piece you would change in the game?
I don't know. Maybe they're anti-cheat or something. Really, like they're anti-cheat and this just so that like even when you're new, you want to play on a proper server. Like the difference between this 64 and under 28 tick servers, it's so big. Even like smokes, you cannot throw on because of this tick rates.
True.
Like this is not a nice experience for like the new casual players. They need to go to face it if they want to play like on a normal server.
Absolutely agree. It would be way over time to add that for CS:GO, and
Like
I personally,
Valve is so lazy at doing stuff. To be honest, like they have such a nice game, but they are not doing enough with it. I think.
I think that's a really good part about Valorant to have like a second competitor in somewhat the same field. To not
Yeah, I
have
think
like,
this Riot is doing it like they are always listening to what the players are saying. So like this is really good about them. And they are communicating about everything with like the people who are playing their games. When there is Valve, bro, they just put their updates online, and sometimes they post a reply on a tweet or something from someone randomly, and that's what you know about CS.
absolutely true. Yeah, I think it could make them feel like they have to be more active with the game and with updates. That
And
should be a
with
good
their
thing.
skins, like if they would do half the way they do it, like with Dota, where they let some money go from the skins towards prize pool for like the major or
Mm,
something, these majors would be so sick, bro. Like the difference in price pool between the normal tournaments and the major would be huge, and obviously it would be more of a show, and like there would be even more people watching than there was watching now. Yeah.
Agree on
There
that
was
one, yeah.
already a lot, but if there was like 5 million on the line, bro, I'm pretty sure there was even more viewers.
I mean, I think the orgs and players get at least some money from the stickers and so on. That's
Yeah, but
cool in
that's
CS.
not even like they're not even announcing like. I think it would have been better if they put it like only the sticker money to the like teams and the rest in the prize pool, like
Hmm.
from these normal skins, you know,
Agree, yeah. It's just to have like a
a
higher
big
price
prize
tag for the
pool
event. Mm.
and like this obviously attract like media, like normal media from like countries where gaming is not so big, you know.
True, agree on that one.
There's obviously countries where gaming is already like normal in news and stuff, but this is not the case in like countries like Belgium, Netherlands, and I'm pretty sure there's more. Like Austria probably as well, no?
Yeah, they have a really weak esport scene.
There's probably no news about esports as well on like the mainstream media.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
that's
really, really
the
little. I have
thing.
two more questions from the community that we got on Twitter, and I want to ask you. Is the first one: with enough practice and dedication, can anybody do it? Like, do it together, bro.
Um, Not everyone, but a lot of people, I think. Like, if you really try your best, you can already be a really smart player, and then you don't need the best aim because you can, like, outplay your opponents with moves they don't expect. But yeah, I think most people can do it, but it's a long grind and it's many hours you spend on this before there is, like, anything you get back from it, you know?
Totally agree. It's definitely a hard grind, especially with the huge amount of players who are currently trying it.
Yeah. For sure, but it's also regional based. And like there is so many Russians who are grinding, like Russian kids. But when I think of people in Belgium, I don't know anyone.
Hmm?
So it's really depending. Like I think they are playing other games here in Belgium, or they are not playing anything. I don't know.
Sure, it's a regional difference, also between politics, for example, and whatever. Like
Uh,
Denmark is so strong because they have like the support from.
yeah, of course they have their schools, like, but they have big clubs. You know, like they have big orgs.
Yep,
Like this all makes it so much easier. Like in Belgium, there is no big Belgium orgs or anything, you know. Like we are now just lucky we have this football team, but apart from this, nobody can live from it, I think.
totally agree. Are there also some connections to the football team itself? So is there anything like going on with them or with the organization of the football team?
Like what do you mean?
Like for example, are you in the stadium for some time or like meeting players, or is there intern connections?
Ooh, like they invited us one time to go to the stadium, but we are only two Belgian players, so
Hmm.
we didn't even go because like one this other player is not interested in football and I'm not gonna sit there solo, you know. But yeah, I'm like communicating like with the same people who are sitting there on like their base camp within their training center. So it's with the people on the football, but it's not like we're meeting these players or anything
Hmm. That's
yet,
interesting.
at least.
The second question we already answered before. The what are your plans for the future after his CS career? We already talked about it before.
Yeah, like I hope to like play like 2 more years and after going like the esports division of Brugge themselves to help them there and get a job there
Hmm?
because they only started like now it's almost 1 year and it's already changed so much in like at the start there was like barely any social media, there was nothing done actually, nobody was watching it, but Now our contracts are, we got better contracts, like they are posting every game on social media, on their Instagrams. So it's good. And I
Really
hope
cool.
it will keep improving
I'm sure it will.
2022. Yeah, I'm pretty sure as well. And I hope we can show something in next year.
I'm sure about that one. I have five short questions to end everything. What was the first team you cheered for in CS:GO?
Oof. In in CSS, it was like this very games lineup with
Hmm.
existence. Like back in like 2008, 2009, these teams like very games, they were coming to like a regional Belgium land just because it was one of the bigger lands in like Benelux and France. And it was really nice to see like this, like they were the best team in the world, or one of the best teams in the world on CSS at that point, and they were just playing on a bring your own computer land together with all their stuff, fighting for like €1,000 first place, you know. And for like CS:GO, I don't know, like before I was working like until 2015, I don't like I didn't have really a favorite team. I was always supporting the French, but
Hmm.
it was not like I was sad if they lost the game or something.
Who did you cheer for the major?
This major?
Yeah.
Oof. I like the story about Copenhagen Flames, to be honest. They were
Hmm.
pretty nice. Like they were just grinding these tier 2 events and suddenly they were in the major and then they were winning really good teams,
Hmm.
going 3-0 and stuff in the regional. And for like, I don't know, I was cheering for like Vitality, but after I was a bit sad because they probably knew already they were a dead team and they had to play like this. And I know how hard it is to play like with teammates when you know you're not gonna play again with each other, you know.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. Also with Liquid, at least what my information is at, who played suddenly like kind of better than before after the
Yeah,
the
bro.
news came
Yeah,
out.
this was weird. This was really weird. Suddenly they were winning matches. All these teams were losing to a dead team.
And also at our current
Probably
point,
because they didn't care anymore and they were all just playing solo plays and it was working out, you know.
true, free the mind, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, of course there's no more pressure, you know, for them. They're like, it's over anyway.
And
I
also
think they had
Vitality.
some beef like in this team because
Hmm,
when you see all these socials, what they are saying,
I mean, I don't have any background information on internal things, but definitely could be a fair point.
yeah.
Also, Vitality performs really well now. Like I Am Winter is on the date we are recording the interview is like today, and Vitality is still in there in the quarter half finals.
Yeah, bro, and like they were playing pretty good. They won
Yes.
this nuke against Navi after the streak when they are a dead team, you know, like this last event, this Blast Premier Fall Finals. They won the like they break Navi's nuke
Streak.
streak, even though they are a dead team, you know.
I can
Like
imagine just freeing your mind and don't have the pressure you had before. This can be really relieving, I guess.
yeah, I guess as well, and like they are just there probably saying to each other, let's have fun one more time, and they are giving their best without probably any complaints or anything.
Absolutely agree. That can be really relieving, yeah. What's your favorite and least favorite map?
Least favorite map, obviously Overpass. We never played it,
Hmm.
so it's my perma ban for like 4 years in a row. And my favorite, I guess Vertigo and Nuke, but more Vertigo.
Okay. M4A4 or M4A1?
M4A1, the silencer. Right now, before the update, it was A4, but with this update, the A1 is so much better and it's cheaper and it's just advantage. You can spam smokes and nobody
Mm.
knows where you're shooting from. Like when you're shooting with other guns, they see your bullets going through and they can just spam you back.
Absolutely agree. That's a big advantage. That's a big. I also switched to A1 after playing for multiple years with the A4.
Yeah,
And
of course. I never played before. Like last years, I was
mm,
only playing with EA for. But yeah, now the silencer, I like it sometimes because yeah, when you start spraying with the silencer, sometimes it's like shooting with no bullets. You know what I mean? Plastic bullets or something.
true that. After Simple and Zawu, like they're kind of obviously the top two in the upcoming HLV ranking. Who do you think will be the third player this year?
I think Shiro, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, he had a really good year. Even on these lands, like, he didn't perform so well, but he performed most of the time still really good. So I think, like, and online he was playing already really good, and they're also young. Like, probably next year Gambit will also fight with Navi, to be honest.
Absolutely, they had a really good run, and
Like they
also
are
an
so they
impressive.
are so young and they
Mm,
just feel that pressure on one. Like I'm saying about same for people playing first time their playoffs. Like this is another pressure you're feeling, and when you're not used to this just affects your game. Even though you don't want this or anything, or you're saying you don't feel anything, but this is not possible.
mm.
At least from my point of view.
I can imagine also the big crowds for the first time have to be overwhelming,
Yeah,
and
of
like the
course,
sound
of
could.
course. All these people screaming and you are sitting there and you're losing, like let's say like in this major Gambit Navi, where Navi was just fully owning Gambit. Like when you start bad, you are starting to feel this pressure and you're like starting to overthink like
Mm,
the fact that you're getting owned and what is happening because you're usually not getting owned like this.
absolutely agree. That will be hard to get it into your mind. Absolutely agree.
But I think for next year they will be ready for this. They have now some time, like they will probably work on their mental and stuff
Sure thing.
in Gambit. So pretty
Yeah,
sure next year they're gonna do pretty good and this new Vitality as well.
mm, really looking forward to both of them.
Yeah.
As
Although
if,
I find it really sad that they kicked Shocks, to be honest.
yeah, same.
I was fine for Kyojin, but not Shocks. Shock, Shocks just announced like few weeks before he wants to be the player who is grinding until 35 in Tier 1.
Mm,
And 3 weeks later, bam,
yeah,
Vitality gonna go minus Shocks, minus Kia, minus their coach.
that's really absolutely tough for him. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward. There are many French players who are currently like could be possibly building a new team. That's definitely something to look into, and would be definitely interesting if there's an org willing to pick them up.
yeah, but I think so. Like, Shocks I heard about Liquid maybe, so
Okay,
it would be nice for him. And yeah, Kyojin probably can go to LDLC because they are going to fully change their lineup as well, I believe.
okay, interesting. A last fun question: pineapples on pizza?
No thanks.
Awesome.
I don't do this, bro. I don't do
I
this.
respect that. Then thank you so much for your time. It was absolutely a pleasure talking to you.
No problem. It was nice to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. I wish you good luck with finding a consistent lineup and also grinding through the next year. And I hope you will like fulfill all your dreams.
Thank you, bro. Same for you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. And have a wonderful day, Alex.